Thank y'all for coming again. This is the Group Chat Podcast hosted by 240 for Free. My name is Gerald.
My name is Jamila.
My name is Savannah.
I'm Thomas.
Yes, and today we're gonna get it started with another ick. And for me, my ick is I can't stand hearing the B word.
Bitch.
Thank you for saying it. I appreciate it. It's just, I guess it just, I don't want to say it. It sounds very harsh, and it just doesn't feel good. I don't feel good when I hear that word.
By men or women or in both?
It's really both, but especially when men do it.
Explain the context.
Even in rap, like I can hear it in rap, and it's like, okay, cool, but I will personally skip that word. I'm not saying the B word, even in a rap song. I know some people feel that way about the N word and things.
I will say, as a male, and the B word is in my vocabulary. I'm gonna be honest, but it's never towards a woman in particular.
Say like you would never call a woman.
Yeah, I don't.
Bitch.
Y'all ain't never seen me in conversation, but like, bitch, shut your ass. Or
the way I would scream.
Right.
That'll be
it's in my vocabulary, but I don't address especially women. If I address a person, me and my homeboys talking shit, and we literally just exchanging insults, and that's just what we do because that's how we play around. But sometimes I'm in this bitch. Sometimes I got this bitch on. Sometimes it just fits, and it is a strong word, but that's why I use it, because I am in this bitch.
And you do got this shit on.
Hello.
It is a ick of mine.
It is. Do you feel that way about like other curse words? Are you a curse?
No. I use a lot of profanity. I do use a lot of profanity, but down specific, it's tough. It's harsh on my ear.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do y'all have any words that y'all are
I say all of them.
to y'all?
I say every curse word, but I don't say the F slur like towards gay people, and I don't like when I hear other people say it. It literally makes me cringe. And this is even honestly like before it became very like you can't use, because it definitely used to be said on TV like a lot.
Used to say that shit all the time.
Yeah, but it always just sounded hard. I'm like, oh, and then like hearing it now is like, oh God, you don't care about anything. You just said that like
it was always meant to be a
I don't like that word. But as far as cussing, I'm a cuss. And I remember seeing a TikTok of a girl talking about, this is how you can be more feminine. Oh, wow. Ladies, we should not be using profanity. I said, oh, hell no. Like, I'm going to cuss. And I don't care if that makes me seem unladylike or anything. Like, I'm a grown-ass woman. Yeah. And cursing just adds a little sprinkle-dee.
A little seasoning.
You know, a little something to the sentence. And I'm a very, you know what I'm saying, a talkative person and an expressive person. And I like to cuss.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do better about the cursing.
You want to stop?
Eventually.
Oh.
That's good for you.
You know?
Wow.
You know, I mean,
why?
We ain't there yet, but I just feel like sometimes you ain't got to say all that.
I think that's gonna be hard for you, Savannah. Because I heard.
Savannah.
I can see that.
The way you like to enunciate your words, I think it's just gonna be challenging.
Like
because I don't think you can say heck the way you say hell.
Yeah, hell no.
I can't imagine you not cussing.
Really?
But I'm
we here
I'll be like,
I support it.
I mean, do what you do.
I ain't say today.
Oh yeah, well, you know.
Or tomorrow.
But it's something about it. It's just fun, and like I don't know, like it's not. I didn't cuss a lot when I was a kid. Like I was very much a child when I was a child. Like I always wanted to be grown, not too much. I always wanted to be grown. I always did. But like I was very much like a kid, and like I didn't really start cussing until like high school, honestly. And it's like the older I get, the more I curse. I don't know.
It's funny because I remember when I was a kid, the exact day that I decided that I was going to start cussing. I remember the day I picked my bike up and I was like, today is the day.
That you start cussing.
It was. I remember it was a thing like back then. Like Jamila said, I was a kid's kid too. Like even when little boys were doing shit, me and my brother, hey, you don't do that shit that they doing. Even with cussing, I was also a big brother, so I was cognizant not to do it around my younger brother too, because I'm like, I got to be the fucking example, and we don't do what these other fucking kids in this neighborhood do. We do what we do, because they ain't got our mama. So you know what I'm saying? But it's funny because I remember the day I decided I'm a curse, and it's been.
Y'all ever met somebody who don't know how to cuss?
Oh,
they just immature with their language.
Awkward.
It's like
it's very awkward. And honestly, sometimes like I feel uncomfortable around people who don't curse, like specifically don't curse, because I'm like, damn, you hear how much you curse when you're around somebody who don't. Like, damn, did I do too much? Or am I making you uncomfortable? And then I feel uncomfortable.
I had a friend like that.
It's like, damn.
I could never. I have to watch what I say, and it's like it'll just come out. I'm like, are you my mom? Are you my?
Yeah, don't. Oh, and please don't ever check me.
Or people who mix the words up.
What you mean? Check you?
What the? Yeah, go ahead.
As a grown ass person, I'm gonna speak as a grown ass person.
And I say what I say.
You're not gonna. Watch your mouth, bitch. Fuck you.
Hold on, even an elder.
Bitch, fuck you. Now I don't. Now I'm playing. Now when I don't curse in front of my parents for real. Like,
okay.
And it's funny because y'all see how much I curse. My parents curse a lot too, but that's just. And my parents, I don't think they care if I curse, because it's funny though. Like we'll accidentally like slip up and I'll say something. I'll be like, ooh. I'll be like, oh my gosh, Lonnie, you just cussed. Like we just laugh at it, but it's like I don't feel comfortable cussing around like my grandparents, but older, like random old people,
like somebody that's 30, 35.
Like, damn nigga, hold on.
Yeah,
I'm close to 30 now.
Now
what? Now, hold on. But it's like somebody I don't know. Like I don't really. I don't think about it.
Right. I think I'm able to switch in settings well, and I think when that line gets blurred for me, then I have to reassess. Like if I'm in a setting where I shouldn't be cursing and I'm finding it hard,
like at work,
but you'll be surprised.
I was gonna say
in certain corporate spaces, they curse like sailors.
Does it not shock you?
It shocks the hell out of me sometimes. Like one time somebody was like, if you do XYZ, I'll get your fucking ass off the project. I was like, oh my God.
That's F-bomb religiously. It's always fuck in corporate. It's always fuck.
You know what's actually, I have a friend that's in the legal field, and they were saying even their emails. I was like, they emailed. It was like, the partner said they sucked our XYZ. Like they're very, very vulgar, and they work at a big firm that you see commercials at all the time. And I'm like, they talk. He was like, this was an email sent to everybody
and I bet
in
you
our office.
They was white.
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know, black folks. I don't care how comfortable them white folks be at work. We don't ever get that comfortable. You ain't ever finna see me slip and slide. Ever. I was watching this. It was this video on Twitter. This girl, they was at a company Christmas party. She was loose. Like I'm talking about, had a couple of drinks, and I said, yeah. Never. Don't ever get too comfortable as us.
Ever.
I would never get that comfortable. And I've definitely been in several. This is when I used to work at the Coca-Cola company. Bitch, when I heard all these niggas cussing, I said, oh my God. I'm talking about they were real casual. The black folks did not play that. They were like, one of the black ladies told me, don't let them get you caught up.
Yeah.
That's real.
Thank you, Auntie.
Because they forget about them, they don't forget about you.
Yeah.
Don't let them get you caught up.
Real aggressive. Because I felt threatened when you said it.
I said, oh yeah, hell no.
Yeah, I was warned. I love my black folks that watch out for other black folks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what the
Thank
nigga
you. I appreciate it because I had that conversation right before I started full time. I had a conversation with, they were actually our TA from Georgia State, and they were working at the same company. They said, Thomas, these holiday parties, you don't have the same good time that everybody else have.
Yeah.
They could get drunk, they could start cursing, they could do all of this, and they're gonna forget about it on Monday, and they're gonna move on as business as usual. When you do it,
they ain't gonna forget about your black ass,
and it's gonna be a problem.
Absolutely.
Don't find yourself
keep your head on
getting
a
too
swivel.
toasty at them holiday parties. I said, and she was like, in them happy hours.
Don't
You
And
keep
that's
it
how
cute.
they get you. Them happy
Get
hours.
a drink or two.
They want you to.
You don't have the same. They have a short memory for them. They don't have the same for you.
Yeah, they got long term for black people.
Facts.
Mm.
You want to get into the topic?
Let's get into the topic. So I feel like it's very important that we bring back platonic relationships between men and women.
Yeah.
The art has been lost. I feel like everything is seen to be risque. Like you have a friend that's of the opposite sex, and it's like everybody wants to question whether or not y'all have had sex. First of all, that's weird to be asking people. Like, let's get into that. You don't even need to be worrying about what other people have been doing. But on the other tip, it's like, why do people assume that every time people have friends of the opposite sex that they smashing? What's up with that?
Great question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And when you say platonic, you just mean a cordial relationship with another
friends.
Human being.
Exactly.
Usually
friendly.
It's male and female.
Yeah.
That's usually where this
Specifically
because,
talking about men and women and just having like a friendship that is not sexual, a relationship that's not sexual at all or romantic.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I could start off because I feel like I've ran into this a lot in my life because I always have really close relationships with women. Like I have platonic relationships, then I have women that I date. So that has always been a thing. Even when I wasn't dating, people like, I know you and so, and I'm just like, no, we literally just kick it and we cool. Like, but for me, that's always, I don't know, it's just always been natural for me to have friends that I don't think of in that way or don't date or try to, cross that line just because I feel like the women I've always had women in my life. I've always had aunts and that's always, so it's always been natural to have that type of relationship. Into what I use a lot of my platonic relationships for, like they damn near like my executive board for life. Like I bounce ideas off of them. If I'm going through something with dating or relationship, I'm like, can you give me another perspective? Like, am I thinking this shit through?
Yeah.
So I think people don't realize the benefit of a platonic relationship. Of like, this can be your baseboard. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to trust your partner and stuff to get there. But it's like, this is the person I go to when I'm having a problem because they may be looking at it in a different way. They may be able to say something that I didn't think, I was neglecting or something like that. And so that's really the benefit that I find in my platonic relationships specifically.
Yeah. And as a woman, I like having male friendships. Men gonna put you on game about other men
quickly.
So if you being stupid, some
they gonna
friends
tell
say
you.
They gonna let you know.
And it may not be in the nicest way.
It's never nice.
It's never nice. But it's always real, and I definitely appreciate that. And I was just telling this to my male friend, like, I do appreciate you for keeping me grounded. You gonna keep me grounded, nigga, goddamn. But it's like it's a balance. It's a balance of having your friends who's gonna feed your delusion, and then having a friend that's gonna be like, bitch, please
get it together.
You have friends for both.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they do, how they look like, what they identify. It doesn't matter. Right? For me, it gets a little spooky when you have a significant
spooky, yeah.
This best friend of yours that was before me, I understand y'all had a little, some more years or time in the game. But this nigga don't need to be calling you when we in the bed. Why is this nigga in my bed?
Why is this nigga
and why is that woman in our bed as well?
I ain't thought about it like that, bro. You said some real shit. Why is this nigga in my bed? Like,
why is this
if y'all in the bed together, this nigga shouldn't be in the conversation.
Why is this woman in our bed? That's tough. Why do we have to deal with that? So it gets a little spooky on the relationship side.
Right? I think that's important though, because it comes down to boundaries, and I think it comes with conversation. Like, these are things that people don't just, because at the end of the day, no matter who's the male or the female in a platonic relationship, you have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Like the single friend is not going to be able to pick up on all of these cues. They're not in the relationship. If you're in a relationship at a certain point, some people don't have to have a relationship, but if it becomes a problem, be like, hey, look, at a certain point, shoot me a text or XYZ, but like it has to be certain boundaries. Like, I know if I got a friend that's in a relationship, they got kids and like they do their thing, I'm not hitting them up at a FaceTime at 11 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? It's certain shit that I can't do just because I'm a grown ass man too. At the end of the day, I can't. And this is another grown man's household at this point. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect that. It's like two lions can't be in the motherfucking.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to. And I think too, it's hard to continue that relationship if you don't also have a relationship with their partner. Y'all don't also have to be best friends.
To it.
Y'all don't have to be best friends, but you have to include that other person in y'all conversation because it just makes for a better flow. Then now your other partner gonna be, where's so-and-so at? And now y'all can be cool, but if y'all just have this, and then when they come around, it's like, now that other person got animosity and tension, they like, what the fuck is this?
Why
and I'm glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of people have issues with the friend of their partner because the way the friend of the partner was introduced was a little shady. Some people I think are fearful of what their partner would do if they reacted to them having an opposite sex friend. When in reality, if it's no tea, it's no tea.
Right.
And for me, whenever I start dating or talking to a new guy or whatever, I always make sure, not just because I want to make them feel comfortable, because I don't care about that for real. It's really just because you ain't never finna make it seem like I'm on some shady shit. I casually name drop my male friends. Like, oh, I was on the phone with Thomas the other day. I was on the phone with the white the other day. Because it's no tea, it's no shade. It is what it is. I'm not gonna be like, oh, a friend of mine, they possibly, like, all of a sudden everything is so weird. Yeah, like, I don't like that. And I don't like the idea that this is a controversial thing. So I feel like people have different opinions. But whenever you are now in a relationship, people say that your significant other's friends are not your friends. I don't agree to that. I think that we should all be a kumbaya family. That's just me, because I'm just all, let's bring everybody together. Right. But like, I don't like when people try to like, oh, well, I don't want to get to know any of them, because I think that's what makes it kind of weird. Like, why you not want to get to know that person and they friends? Then who you gonna call when shit get rocky?
I can see that, but at the end of the day, your best interest is just like family. Like my mom's best interest is literally me.
Yeah.
Your mom's best interest is literally you. So it kind of get a little rocky when we're friends, but if we get into it, I should be on the phone with your mama like, your daughter going crazy. She tweaked out.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, there's definitely lines. But like, I even seen a conversation on TikTok or Twitter or something where it was like, I don't even think about my friend's boyfriend. I don't even know his name. I don't know nothing about him. I'm like, is that not weird? Is that not like, because if you feel like you can't even look at that nigga without it getting weird, something is in the water. Like, I'm cool with my friends' boyfriends, not in the sense because I'm trying to get close to them, but it's because like, we're best friends and you're always around that nigga, and I'm coming to your house. What's up, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
I see you. Like,
why would I not? Like, I think that's weird. Like, and I think that maybe the conversation needs to change, because maybe you don't trust your friend, and get into that.
Right. And like I was telling Savannah, we was having a conversation about like just group trips and stuff the other day. As we get older, it's more so going to be couples and stuff around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So everything, eventually, everybody's going to have a partner here and there. So it's like most of the settings that you're going to interact in moving forward is going to be with their significant other or in a couple space. Yes, or even if you're at an event or something, somebody's going to bring their significant other with them. Like, so it's like, why are you fighting around that? And that's what puts tension on relationships, because it's like, this is the person that they're always with anyway. Like, why is it a thing that they're, go ahead and build that bridge so that everybody can just kumbaya together. Y'all still best friends. Y'all still got all the history and stories and all of this that y'all can kiki. And now we can kiki together.
Yeah, right. And we can all be in on the conversation. Right. It's all about inclusion. Like, you don't ever want nobody to, on whatever end, to feel like they're an outsider. And I know for a fact that when it's me and my friends or me and my siblings, I know we have a tendency to just...
Oh, y'all got it bad.
We have a tendency to just... We get so excited to talk about whatever we're talking about. It was like we almost have our own language. Yeah. And I know that, like, sometimes people can feel like they're not being included. And it's definitely not intentional. And I think it's something that you kind of just have to think about. And sometimes I try to, like, consciously bring somebody into the conversation or be like, okay, well, let me explain what we're talking about. It's all about that, those little small things that you do. Because I know how it is when you get in with your people. Yeah. And it's like you just get lost in it. Yeah. So then you have to be mindful, like, okay, they don't, let me, add them in. But then also, like, when you're that person who's on the outside, don't be afraid to be like, and what happened? What? And okay, so sometimes you got to just lean into it. And don't feel like it's intentional, because most of the times it's not. Like, sometimes you got to just do it.
Going back to building the bridge, you can't make it awkward when a person does.
Yeah, don't be like, you wouldn't get it.
Nothing make it worse than somebody trying to get in a conversation and they just look back at you like,
yeah,
and that was awkward.
Because now,
because now I would never say nothing again.
Fuck y'all.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm not saying,
yeah.
Actually, don't invite me no more, because
it's nothing worse than when you be like, what was it? Oh, you just had to be there. Oh, okay, bitch. Fuck you. Yeah, that shit is lame. Don't do that. You gotta bring people in.
Yeah. Back to the platonic relationships. Do y'all think that it's that way because there is some trauma there? How many times have you had a platonic relationship that may have turned into a bigger thing?
I haven't had.
You know what I'm saying? That happens. That literally happens.
It does. I think it's definitely like, sometimes you project the things that you are most insecure about. So like for me, I've never really thought about that when like dating other people and like their friends, because I've never crossed that that bridge with like specific friends for real, like people who are like close friends. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's a different story. So
what's that noise? I think it's a dog.
Somebody dog,
Oh,
Cheryl.
yeah.
But yeah, so whenever I'm like dating a guy or whatever, I don't think too much about their female friends because again, like I know that I have male friends and I just don't think about it. Now, I've had a man try and check me on my male friends, me knowing that those boundaries are never crossed. So it's like, boy, the fuck is you talking about? Like, you on some weird shit, and I just feel like it's your insecurity is showing.
As a man, Thomas, as another man, if you see your woman, your partner, and she got a nice friend, he's a cool guy, but you know deep down this nigga is waiting on his opportunity for you to fuck up.
But how do you know that?
Yeah, how do you know that?
As a man, I can feel it.
Sometimes
as
you get
a man, I can feel it.
It's just like y'all have y'all woman intuition. There's a man intuition.
Well, what does that look like? What does that feel like?
That's hard to describe.
It's a nigga who is attracted to your partner.
Right.
That's it.
But how would you know if
as
they
a nigga,
never
you know what
expressed
attraction to a woman looks like.
Just like I know what attraction looks like to a woman. Right. A woman knows what attraction looks like from a man's perspective. Okay. It's the same shit.
But do you
sometimes
think that...
you are wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes
there is a level of error.
It is. It is.
There is a range of
it's
error.
It's a slim thing.
There is a range because.
So
how do you know?
I was gonna say, and what do you do to make it seem so that you're not in the insecure boyfriend life? Because you don't want to be. Because now that puts a weird thing. So how do you mitigate that? Yeah, or girl.
You gotta play it cool.
You
gotta chill out.
Yeah.
So you don't say nothing.
You don't say shit. No, you just
peep from afar.
Give that rope. Give her more rope in space, and they'll hang themselves. All the
that's valid
though.
Like, yeah. So I think that's fair within any type of situation too. The relationship is like you can't control that relationship. No. There's nothing you can do to honestly prevent a nigga from doing you dirty or a girl. Yeah. So it's like this sounds crazy, but honestly just let them do what they're gonna do, and it's gonna present themselves. Like when I was in a situation where infidelity was the case. What am I going to do? I'm not going to give you no test. I'm not about to I need my friend to DM him and see if he hooks No, I'm not doing all of that. I am not going to go out of my way so that I can prove my intuition when I know this shit going to fall in my lap when I need it to.
Y'all ever been through somebody's phone?
I never went through it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
But after the case, I never went through a phone during the situation.
Again.
No, like I didn't go through the phone during the relationship because again, I'm not going to put myself in a situation to just look like a fool because when there's nothing, it's gonna come out somehow, some way. It is. Now afterwards, I was curious at that point. Let me see that shit.
Some skeletons are buried, and that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I
hate to say that, but it's true.
I heard some shit on. I'm just getting what you're saying. I heard some shit on social media. Ladies, how do y'all feel about this? Since we talked about going through the phone.
I'm scared.
They said, if you're not gonna leave, let that nigga cheat in peace.
What
y'all feel about that?
That was my next thought when you said
if you're not gonna leave, let that nigga cheat in peace. What's the thought?
That was my thought too. Because if I'm going through your phone and we in a relationship, say we live together, and you cheating, I'm gonna want to leave. Like I'm gonna leave, but then it's like we live together and we got all this shit, and so then that's what makes people stay. That's what makes people stay through the bullshit, and that's why I'm so hard on like I'm staying.
So do you check the phone towards the end of the
You don't check the phone at all.
Is coming up.
You don't go through the phone at all. You don't go through the phone at all.
So to answer your question, Thomas, I agree to a certain extent. Like I hate the phrase sounds crazy.
The phrase sounds crazy.
The phrase is crazy.
The phrase is from an old school.
Yeah, but it eats. Let me tell you why. Because what is the point of putting yourself through this traumatic ass relationship for what? I say this, and I'm gonna stand on it. If somebody cheats on you, you must break up with them. I'm not saying you'll never get back with them.
Yeah.
You never know. Some people do change. Some people are able to be accountable, but you have to leave that relationship because what's going to happen is a couple of things. If you stay in that relationship, but you didn't really get over it, Now you're holding them to a certain standard and you're resenting them.
Yep.
And that's kind of on you. Even if they never cheat again, you're still resenting them. And you're not wrong for resenting them, but you can't stay in that relationship and continue to resent them.
Yep.
Or them niggas gonna keep cheating, and now look at you. You going back to the same shit over and over again. If you find yourself in a situation and somebody cheat on you, leave them that moment, that second you find out.
Yeah.
Break up with them.
Yeah.
If y'all are able to fix, now that's on y'all.
It.
That's on y'all.
Yeah.
I think it gets sticky because you can do that with relationships and maybe the points that we're at in our lives. But when you get in them 30s and 40s and y'all got 10 years, y'all got equity in this house that y'all bought 15 years ago. Y'all got a 401k that need to be split up.
We'll figure it out later.
Well, yeah, I mean, and divorce is different than maybe like a relationship, right? Because even you can get legally separated. You can even, I'm going to leave this house. I feel like you need to make it known you done fucked up.
Yeah, you got to make a stand.
You got to make people feel it.
You got to make people feel it.
Like stand on that shit. You got to send some niggas on
them niggas out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your sense of icing somebody out? For me, it's you don't get the privilege of seeing my life.
Yeah.
I'm
block.
Banished.
Yeah.
You can't see my success. You can't see my downfalls. You can't see shit. That's how you shit on people.
That's real. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a blocker personally, only because now this is just me, child. Who knows if this really makes sense? But in my mind, I feel like if I only block people when it comes to like a point where like harassment, they're consistently reaching out. They're not getting the message. But I feel like personally, I really reached a point of I don't give a fuck when I can see that you text me and I'm not responding. You get what I'm saying? Versus them not, I don't even know if they're even hit me up or now. Now I'm wondering, I wonder if they even hit me up to begin with. Right. That's just a thing for me personally. I feel like it helps me grow and recognize that I've reached that point where I've grown past this situation and I'm over the situation because you can hit up my phone and I don't even move.
Right.
Versus I don't even know, child. Couldn't tell you a thing. And it just don't bother. If you want to see what I'm doing, you can see what I'm doing. I'm everywhere. You can't miss me. You can.
That's for damn sure.
So it is what it is. Like now, again, I will block if I need to. If you didn't lost your goddamn mind,
I'm a blocker.
Ask about it.
I stand 10 toes on blocking. Get that nigga out of here. Get him out.
Yeah, I'm different. Like I don't block. Like,
people add all these like stipulations around blocking. That's my phone and my bills. I don't want you on it.
It's your life.
It's my life. Like regardless if I want you to see what I'm doing or not. No, I don't want you to see nothing.
Yeah.
Block.
That's a form of like what he was saying. You vanished.
That's it.
Vanished.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Just like a ghost.
Yeah. I feel like my version of that is that you will no longer be graced with my presence. Like not to say that I'm the shit, but it's like most times I would like to say when I'm in a relationship with somebody, whether that be friends or dating, you get something out of it. Like I'm not no lame ass person that just draws from everybody. Like I feel like when I'm with people, we have a good time and XYZ is like you no longer get access to that.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times you reach out or call or text. If we reached a certain point, you don't have access to that. You don't have access to me at all. You can text, you gonna see, you can look on Instagram, you can see what fit I got on, what place I done travel to, but you can comment and like, I'm gonna act like you don't exist.
I will say, I think I could do a better job of standing 10 toes down. I be standing like 5 toes down. I ain't gonna lie, I be 5 toes on that ground. I get wrapped up in empathy. I be like, damn, I can see, and like, you know, I give people a lot of chances because I just feel like I don't want to like completely X people out.
Right.
Because I've had friendships completely fail. Like, done. It is deceased. It's not coming back. But that was after so many things. Right. And it's like in hindsight, I probably should have been done with that girl a long time ago. Because, you know, from the first situation. And it's like, and then I'm like, okay, but I can't, you know, I can't beat myself up over this. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, even with guys, like they'll show you. They'll show you.
Get into that.
They'll literally do some bullshit. And you just be like, but he apologized. Dummy. And that's why I be like, it's just like I really do want to get better, and I feel like I feel like I've been doing a little bit better, but I've been definitely trying to like stand more firm in my standards and my boundaries. Like, no, you don't let no nigga like disrespect you, even if he sweet talks his way out. Like, niggas sweet talk their way out of some bullshit. Y'all niggas is crafty,
and that's why I'm such a I think that's why I like blocking, because it's out of sight, out of mind. Like, I don't even get the sweet talk. Like, niggas done call from block telling me unblock me. No, then at that point I changed my number because you. So it's really like, I don't know. Like, I'm just such an out of sight, out of mind. And I'm getting to a point now, as I'm getting older, like, people treat you how you allow them to treat you. And that was a hard lesson for me, because I'm such a sympathetic person. I always want to be, giving empathy and, oh, well, he apologized. No.
Yeah.
Leave that nigga where he had you fucked up.
Yeah. And it's like, remember how you felt that day.
Remember how you made me. I gotta remember how you made me feel in that moment. Exactly. And I have to stand on that. Yeah. And I'm gonna make you stand on that. Yeah. So that's why you're blocked.
That's interesting. As a man, with male friendships, I've never had a friendship breakup.
Yeah, me either.
That nigga, I just never talked to him.
Yeah, sometimes our life just
grew apart.
Grow apart and just like, damn, I ain't talked to so and so in 5 years. I never broke up with a friend, like a guy friend, and it's never been no beef ever. Yeah, I've never experienced that type of hurt.
Yeah, well, I don't. Come to think of it, I've never had any like friend beef with any of my male friends.
Yeah.
Which is I guess interesting, but like.
Peaceful. Is that what y'all saying?
I don't know. I think it's just
never said that.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Who knows, child? But I do think that like women should have more male friends and men should have more female friends. I don't see there's anything wrong with it.
It adds balance to you as a person.
Yeah.
Because for guys, I know even some of my male friends that only have male friends, it's like the way you think of shit.
You can tell you only be around niggas.
You can tell. There's no feminine energy.
Yeah.
You need some of that estrogen. You need
Thank
it.
you. There is such value.
We need each other.
Exactly. I really hate this like push towards overly being masculine. I don't know what it is. It's like a resurgence of over masculinity. Like, calm down, you hard ass niggas.
Well, there is an agenda to demasculate men.
I mean, I suppose, but
no,
okay.
It's a huge agenda.
Oh,
it's
boo.
It's giant.
Oh.
But I get what you're saying. You have to have both.
Y'all don't have to be these hard ass niggas though. And you like you said though, you can tell.
I don't disagree with you.
But you can tell when niggas are only around niggas, because it's like that don't even make no fucking sense. You don't have no women in your circle clocking you on that bullshit. You can tell that. And I don't. None of my male friends are only around men, and that's also the key point, because it's like, you think weird.
You're thinking the flawed.
What are you talking about? It's flawed. That was weird. And I think the same can be said about women as well. Like, but also it's like women who, unfortunately, only hang around men. Clock it.
I see both. I see what you're saying.
So what's the common denominator? Men.
Right. I'm sitting here saying that.
You might have did look some of that one little thing. That one little thing.
But no, it's real. Like, when women only hang around men, I can tell, like, you don't have any women friends, do you? Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
These pick me women, those women who are not girls, who are not down for the team. You're weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You have to be down for the team though.
You do.
Yeah.
Because it always is. Child, let me tell you something.
Huh?
You disagree?
No, I'm just listening.
These women who are not girls, is always gonna come full circle. You're always gonna come to a point where you realize, damn, I'm over here talking about women, not believing women, trying so hard to have male approval just for these niggas to look at me just the same as all of these other women. There's nothing that you can do to change the way that you are viewed by these men. So you trying so hard about this approval. It's the same way we look at niggas who trying to get all this white approval. Why are you trying so hard to be approved by a circle you are not a part of? And you are still a nigga, and you still a bitch to them. Hello? Clock it.
The word.
Yeah, ouch.
Clock it.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
Full circle.
I get what you're saying. Full circle. But does a man have to be a man's man? Or is that going to be patriarchy?
I mean,
badness. Man. He's mean.
Madness and badness.
I can understand. No, I mean, I think there's a balance with that, because we can't ignore the systems in place. We can't ignore that. Yeah. So I think that there's a balance between being like, you know what I'm saying, bros over hoes type shit, where it's like you want to have brotherly love, but at the expense of who is kind of like the question. Like, are you a man's man to the point where you not checking your niggas when they are talking their problematic ways? Well, then maybe no.
And doing their problematic things.
Hello,
because men do not hold men accountable.
A lot of men don't hold their men accountable. So if that's what being a man's man means,
hold their women accountable.
That's what I'm saying. Girls,
because it's not publicized as much, but women do be slipping and sliding. It is not some anomaly that happens with 1%. I know most women know a friend or two that has slipped and slide or do slip and slide. Yeah. And do y'all be holding them accountable?
Absolutely. Yeah. So for me specifically, what I'm talking about in this type of conversation, yes, there's a lot of women hold women accountable, specifically when we're talking about like, but in the grand scheme of things, when I'm talking about men holding men accountable, I'm more so talking about in problematic ways. Okay. People are going to be not shit when it comes to relationships on both ends. We already know that. But when it comes to like men stepping into patriarchy and using that to their advantage, when it comes to, you know, rape culture and things like that, a lot of men do not hold their friends accountable. Because how in the hell does every woman know somebody that has been assaulted, but not nary a nigga like, I don't know no nigga who assaulted?
I will say this when it comes to that conversation in particular. Men, I would say, at least with my friend groups, I don't know how everybody's friend groups is, we don't really talk about sex like the actual act. Maybe we might joke here and there, but we don't go into the details of, oh, bro, so how did it go down? Like,
yeah, and
we
maybe
really
not,
don't. That's not our conversation. I feel like women more so go into the details of,
but not
like,
necessarily that. But it's even about like a lot of women know some woman or yourself who's been sexually harassed, and that doesn't have anything to do with sex. Right. You know, that's going to the club and just being groped. That's sexual harassment. Yeah. Again, the math is just not adding up. If we could say that every woman can say they themselves, or they at least know of a woman who has been sexually harassed, assaulted, raped, all of the X, Y, Z. Okay, boom. But on the flip side, when you ask a lot of men, do you know any man that has sexually harassed a woman? Have you ever seen this happen? All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I've never seen any of that. Not no nigga I've ever seen of it. It's like, okay, I'm not saying that you know 10 rapists, but I'm saying you know good and damn well when a nigga is weird. You know that nigga be doing too much at the club. You know that nigga be doing too much over here. You know your nigga is weird.
So
Clock
when
it.
they ask that question, do we immediately say, yeah, my nigga John over there, that nigga be going stupid? What do we
all I'm saying is, I know specific rapists who have been admittedly rapist, found guilty of rape, and still be around their friends. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I know that if one of my friends, my female friends, was convicted of some shit like that and admitted, I wouldn't be around them. But men don't have that same. It's kind of just like, oh, he did some shit. I mean, I don't agree with it, but like, that's still the homie. What? Yeah. That's what I know.
Statement. It's a blanket statement because we can act a specific way. How about we just focus on what we do? Gerald is not going to hang around that person because he is that guy. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm not going to hang around that woman because she's that type of woman. Mm-hmm. How about we just focus on it like that? It's easy.
Well, no, right? She's talking about group accountability though.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Okay. Yeah, because just in general, I don't see that happening. Like, we all know of the stories.
I think it's like I was saying. I think it's just a bit more complex when it comes to male relationships, because I think when it comes to accountability, when it happens, when it happens and the action is there, that's when men are liable to get that shit together or address your friend or figure shit out. But it's hard because dudes don't be like, oh man, I saw this group of B's at the club and they ain't want to give me their numbers. So I told them I was XYZ. We don't have those conversations. You know what I'm saying? You have to be there to see it. Then you address that shit like, bro, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah. And Thomas, we handle a lot of shit behind closed doors. You are in a fraternity, I'm in a fraternity. Yeah. Niggas be getting their ass beat behind closed doors, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. All behind closed doors because why would we put that on Front Street?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I will say, just off that point that Gerald just from my
you will never know. It don't get IG.
We have held people accountable.
Yes,
things have been addressed. Apologies were made, and there was no just. I'm gonna be honest. We're not gonna be like you're cast off the island. We'll never speak to you again. But it was a collective. That shit is not acceptable. Don't do that shit no more. Is so and so okay? All right, we good. It is what it is. But it wasn't like I'm not gonna act like we cut the nigga head off. But everybody let that person know this is not how we moving. You coming out with us, or even when you're not, we don't condone this shit.
Yeah,
this is everybody.
I think it just kind of depends on the situation, because I can recall
and the people
and the situation.
2020. If you was there, you was there. You know what I'm talking about. There was somebody who was called out on Twitter. I called him out. I don't give a damn. And I noticed specifically his frat brothers, line brothers, and pro fights. In his defense, were coming after the women that were coming out for their stories. Now that is ridiculous. Like, you know, this nigga did this shit, but you're not only are you doubling down on his bullshit, you're going off on the women for their experiences. You calling us those type of bitches and
that's
hoes.
Where you go wrong.
That's crazy.
Just shut your ass up.
Yeah.
You know
get
what
off
I'm saying?
of that. Get off of socials.
Right. And it's like, I understand the privacy that goes within all of these conversations. Yeah. And I understand sometimes you got to pull people to the side. But I'm talking about when you know in public, you know this nigga got a reputation of some bullshit. But is he really, experiencing any consequences? I don't think so. It don't be looking like that. And I'm not saying that they haven't faced any consequences. It just don't be looking like they
Is it everybody else's business, though? I don't believe so.
That was my next question.
It's not everybody's business.
Do you feel like it needs to be publicized?
It depends. Yeah. It depends. Now, if you,
can we get it off of rape and like go to something more common?
Yeah, maybe, because I was gonna say that.
Because that's huge, clear. Everything that we've been talking about hasn't been about rape.
Yeah. Just in general. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. But that's what I was gonna say. It depends, because every action or mistake that somebody's made doesn't have to be made public. Right. Yeah. Now, when I'm personally speaking, if I'm talking about rape, I want to fucking know if that nigga is raping bitches out in the street, because you need to be. People need to know.
They got the sexual defense.
Right. That's safety. Exactly.
Sexual defense. Yeah. That's a conversation.
Right.
That is.
We need to know.
I feel like at that point,
out that nigga.
Out him. BSA money. And are y'all gonna exile me on Twitter?
Dang.
Or y'all just gonna whoop my ass in public?
I think it depends on how the conversation's going private. Like, if there's a situation that somebody did a mistake and people want to like side, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You made this mistake. Like, this is how we move forward. And it's like, okay, cool. And they go better and move about their day. There's no point in publicizing it. But if you keep doing the same shit, and then we see that other people are being affected by your bullshit, maybe we gonna have to tell everybody that you scamming people out their money. Maybe we gonna. I'm not opposed to exposing these people. Expose these people. Drop the list. Drop the stories. I'm gonna. Expose these people. Don't ever be scared. I mean, now I'm just gonna say, don't ever be scared. People got power. But shit.
Patriarchy.
Hey, well,
money.
Sometimes you got to expose people, because that also protects other people.
It does.
So it's like, it just depends on the offense. Like, if it's some bullshit, some little shit, you don't have to tell everybody about that.
And I feel like that's more so what we were talking about. Like, everything doesn't have to be this big thing, especially if it wasn't anything of a safety concern, or like somebody was hurt, or somebody was like some shit you can handle in house. But when you get to those certain levels, if that happened in public, then sometimes that got to be addressed in public.
What comes to mind is that Jeffrey Epstein list of all these celebrities that's like was going to the islands and doing all this extra shit. I don't know about any of. I don't know if it's facts true. I don't know anything. We're not talking about it as a community. We're not.
And even with that, like,
not us.
I want more details with that too.
In our community is not on that list.
Child.
I haven't seen the list.
Some are.
Have it really?
Yeah, for sure. But I think also, even with that specific list, like, okay, they was at that island. What was they doing at the island? That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me.
I'm not getting too hasty about the list, because one thing I realized is rich and powerful people associate with rich and powerful people.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at somebody going to a party. That's what they do. If you're a billionaire and an aspiring billionaire, you're going to hang around billionaires.
Yeah.
You may not be privy to all that this billionaire is doing behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you might not know what's going on in that room, but you might be invited to the island and go to the party. You know what I'm saying? So people like, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce was on the list. Maybe they did go to a party, but hell, if one of them kids say that he gave Jay-Z a back rub or something like that, or she gave Beyonce a foot rub,
I want more details, and I feel like because they're just dropping the names on the list and trying to go about their business, that's how they're trying to be slick, because you know good and well that that's just too vague. I want to know details. What were they doing on that island? What was the day? I need the victims to really, like, I need more information. Like,
did y'all hear though about I don't know his name, but he was in that chair.
Yeah, that little
What's his name?
That little science, excuse me, God, not little. The older scientist guy, he has a disability. Yeah, I forgot his name. What's his name? Y'all know his name?
I don't know who y'all talking about.
I don't know why that's funny to y'all, but he could have been just like Jay-Z, like you said.
The awkward silence.
Maybe he went over there to go have dinner.
It's awkward in the silence, so I just had to laugh.
Maybe he had dinner just like Jay-Z and Beyonce did. It could be the same thing. Who knows? Who knows?
Stephen
Hawking. And you know this whole motherfucking time he sat there in silence.
He knew his name.
But okay.
We ain't talking about Diddy. We ain't talking about none of that. That's more of our culture.
Put that nigga under the jail.
I don't know.
My thing is 100 people ain't crazy.
Hello.
That's Cat Williams. Y'all was saying the same thing. Y'all saying the same thing in opposite ways. Y'all said Cat Williams. Y'all believe this nigga? He ain't on cocaine.
I said 70%.
No.
I said that he believes that.
Hold on. Now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I've not seen anything that necessarily supports it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or like he did or did not use. Because I personally don't really care if people use drugs in that sense. Because that doesn't mean you're a bad person if you use drugs. What I'm saying is based off of all the things that he's done, it don't match up to say that he's a crackhead. That's just what I'm saying.
Diddy? Does everything match up for Diddy?
Yeah.
I ain't never shook Diddy hand. He ain't never touched me.
But there's been so many people that said, for one, that he's done them dirty financially. Just off rip. There's been so many people. He's a businessman. Okay, that's fine. But there's been so many people that say he's done that.
It's not about what's right, though. It's about the facts, right? So if he has done some people wrong, if the contracts say that he's right or wrong, it's in the contract. It is what it is.
Yeah, but but here's the thing, specific with the finances. He know he was dead wrong for that because he just tried to give a whole bunch of people their money back and shit that he owed. He know he owed them people money.
And he didn't even try to give them money. He tried to be slick. What he tried to do is give them the streaming rights. Now streaming rights is worth dust compared to back then.
Exactly. He know he was doing dirty. Yeah. Whether it was a business move or not, you know you was doing the people dirty. You was trying to level yourself up. Now when it comes to the harassment deal and the assault, this is what I always say when this conversation of assault comes up and people being accusers versus the accusee. 9 times out of 10, and this is backed by facts, people are not lying about the assault that they get. You don't get anything from saying that you've been assaulted. Most of the time, especially when women come out and say, hey, I've been assaulted, they get dog piled on. People say, oh, you asked for this, you a dirty hoe, you done did this, you done did that, I don't believe you, you're trying to down this man's career. We get all of that. And then most of the time, you don't get no goddamn money.
I feel like it's changed.
I want to talk about
it's changed.
It's in the realm. Let's talk about Jonathan Majors real quick. We can make it quick. I personally feel like... Let me stop. maybe I don't need to. But I just feel like... I don't feel like he should be canceled as hard as he's canceled right now. I don't think he beat his girlfriend up. He did. I feel like...
By definition, he did assault her.
By definition, but here's the thing. I feel like you can use a certain amount of restraint when you're dealing with a belligerent person. She was belligerent in that video. She was trying to grab at him and all of that. You do have to use a certain amount of restraint in that position to protect yourself even. He wasn't slapping her around like a rag doll. He didn't hit her head across the thing, but he was trying to get her off of him.
But that's why he was charged with third-degree assault.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like you are going to face the consequences of your actions, no matter what they are. And I'm not saying that he is this evil man who choked this woman and tried to kill her. We've seen that that's not the case. But you're charged with third-degree assault because that's what happened. You unintentionally harmed somebody because you were putting your hands on them.
Trying to get away from them.
That's not the point, though. That's what I'm just saying. What he was charged with. Okay. He was charged with third-degree assault because you unintentionally hurt somebody because you put your hands on them.
I'm gonna just say I don't feel like it's right that he being canceled.
I agree with that.
I don't think he should be stripped from Marvel. I don't think he should be stripped from all of these. I don't think his money should be affected by this incident because it was a white woman. I feel like if that video had came out and it was a black woman, Marvel wouldn't have gave a damn. Disney wouldn't have gave a damn. Yeah. No,
but here's the thing.
You got people in the NFL.
But here's the
thing. Beat their wives and has gone on and played Sunday night's game.
Yes, but just because the other people have not faced consequences doesn't necessarily mean he shouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
What I said is based on the video that we saw. I don't think it's right for him to be stripped from Marvel.
But that's not the only thing that's come out. that's not the only thing that's come out. A lot of those text messages, and she's also said that that's not the first time he's put his hands on her, number one. Okay. Those text messages that was released where he was begging her not to go to the hospital was from a completely different case. A different scenario. So it's like, why are you trying to tell her not to go to the hospital? Oh, this is gonna ruin me if you do this. So it's like it.
But he didn't get charged for those text messages.
I get that. I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying that clearly there's a pattern of something, and we don't know. So we can't say whether or not he. Consequences are consequences. When you do some bullshit and you are if you are a PR nightmare, it don't matter what the situation is. Even if you are just on drugs, you are just doing some bullshit. If you are a PR nightmare, they are gonna drop your ass. Yep. Now we can sit here and say, if I was the head of Marvel, I probably wouldn't have dropped him. I probably would have Okay, well.
But here's my thing. I just feel like a lot of these other actors and stuff, they get more grace than us. You got Charlie Sheen, who's been slapping women, picking up who and who, doing so and so. You have all of these
Kevin Spacey.
You got all of these actors that's done all of this, and all he's been convicted of is this one video of him aggressively putting his girlfriend in the car to get away from her and taking off down the fucking street because she's chasing him like on a wild goose hunt, and that's what he's getting canceled for. I think that's wrong. And when it goes back to the text messages and stuff, that's another thing. I didn't see that part. But if he hadn't been convicted of that, if that's not what he's been convicted of, I don't see why he's facing the consequence of that. If he's done that, let's have another fucking trial. Let's bring the evidence out and let's run this shit. And if he's done that, cancel his ass. But for this man shouldn't be canceled. I'm sorry. I think people just like, oh, he getting his karma because he's with a white woman. And you can have your opinion about that. I have my opinion about that. I'm gonna keep it to myself. But the thing is, for that, I don't think he should have been canceled. And that's all.
Going back to the accusers, right? So I think women are being believed more these days. I think it's an ongoing fight, and it is a battle to believe our accusers, right? And within that, I think that it's growing. It's not there where it needs to be yet. Like people be still like, so what did you say as the woman though? Right. Yeah. What did you do for him to smack you up? Yeah. No, there should be no reason for nobody to put their hands on nobody, right? Yeah. But my other thing is you also have to face the music like Jonathan Majors. If I get accused of something, my public perception, even if that shit is a bold-faced fucking lie, is tarnished. Period. That's what they get, the accuser gets. Yeah. You get the knowledge that saying that Gerald, he did this, you get this basically stain my name. That's what you're getting. Because he can't come back from this. No matter what the facts are, Jonathan Majors, he may be done for now.
I think eventually he'll
That's what they get.
Because then you put the gun in a bunch of other people's hands that hasn't worked this hard to get where you at. Now you give the gun. Now I can work hard to get to this height, and I can get in a relationship with a girl that has done none of this, and she's like, I can just ruin this nigga's career. I can get belligerent enough. That's why hope that he grab my arm just enough to get this nigga canceled, and I can cancel. I can take all this shit away from you, and that's fucked up.
Liars should be convicted. If you lie about something being abusing
but that position wasn't exactly a lie. But that wasn't exactly.
I'm just saying,
I would say before we get into the should liars get convicted, I think. I mean, and that's subjective. The only thing with that I the qualm I have with that is like we don't even get convictions for the people who are doing the dirt. So now we're gonna change the conversation and focus on making sure these liars. When it's like, but okay, let's focus on the facts of the matter. And the facts is the vast majority of people are not lying when they say they're been abused in some kind of way. Because even though what you do get is that person's reputation is tarnished. Let's really look at some of these people who have been accused of some things. Most of them, they be all right after a while. They be all right for the most part.
Two things to be true at once. They can both need to be going to jail. If you put your hands on somebody, you go to jail. If you lie about somebody putting their hands on you, you need to go to jail.
I agree, because the person that's fighting that, they're spending money, time, effort, mental health, all that shit going to play. You can't just be doing that to people. Yeah. But I think we talked on the wealth. Like we always do, one thing leads to another. That's
domino effect.
That's what happens in the group chat.
Yeah.
That's what happens with the group chat, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in and seeing us again. Yes. Again, this is the Group Chat podcast hosted by 240 for free. Thank y'all and see y'all next time. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you.